Welcome back, guys, to yet another World of Warcraft video on this channel. Today we have a little something. I am going to talk to you guys about flipping and how to get into it now with the regional auction house. Now, before we do get into it, make sure you guys drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel and ding the notification bell because, you know, it helps me out greatly. And also, before we get any further, I want to thank all the Patreons. All of them. There's so many, as you guys can see on the screen. There's some great benefits over there. Make sure you guys go check them out, especially the second tier. TSM group sniper shopping list for point blank sniper, which is for auctionator. And there is also a long list of alt army daily gold making activities, which is really good if you want to do some more casual farming, building up stock on your auction house for daily rare camps and mobs and things like that. But besides that, let's get straight into the video. So, something that a lot of people have been asking me recently, especially on my streams, because pretty much for the last 3 weeks, almost 4, I have actually been on the auction house all day long, pretty much all day long. And the reason that that's been the case is because with the regional auction house, I have been able to almost just sit on the auction house all day and be able to sell things. I really like this style of gameplay, and a lot of people have been asking me how they can get into it, how much gold you need, and all of the above, basically. And flipping is a tough thing. Flipping is definitely a lot of experience. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes along the way. I mean, that's something that I do all the time as well. But the main thing that I want to say before we get into it is, with flipping, something that a lot of people, at least I think a lot of people forget, is that when you invest into something, obviously unless it's something that's outrageously volatile, chances are you are not going to lose all of your gold. Yeah, you could lose 10%, 20%, but let's say that you put 100,000 into a material, you lose 10 or 20%, you lose 10 or 20k instead of 100,000. Now, obviously, you are putting that 100,000 into something, so that's gold that's not in your inventory anymore, but that is obviously something that you need to consider yourself. The number one tip that I always give people when it comes to getting into flipping, even more so now when it comes to the regional auction house, is that try materials that you can make more gold with through professions. Try getting into those first, right? Because you have something like, obviously, you can see it right here, Primal Might, right? This one is a transmute that you can make in TBC. It does not have a daily cooldown. This requires 5 different primals, so you could look at the 5 different primals, see if it's worth your time, see if it's worth the gold to actually buy all those 5 primals and craft them into a Primal Might and then also sell them. And then you could look at, okay, well, if there's not any profit that I can make on the Primal Might, well, maybe I can try and flip some of the smaller primals individually. Right? And these primals, you know, a couple hundred gold. Some of them are a little, you know, if you have Primal Fire, 300 gold, Primal Air, 400, 500 gold. So it definitely gets up there. But the thing is, you buy something that you can make more gold with through through a profession, and you save yourself the potential of losing gold. So say that you buy all of the primals and then you craft Primal Mights, right? Or you transmute it into Primal Mights, and you're still not making profit. Well, then you can go even a step further and you can go for crafted transmog. And all the crafted transmog pieces that use Primal Might, there's a lot of great ones and they sell greatly all the time. Now, obviously, it's going to take a while to be able to, you know, get to a point where you spend literally all of it, depending on how much you're investing. But that's something that you can look at, and that's the same thing with any ore, any bars, any regular crafting reagents from older expansions. You go for like something like volatiles, right? And then also for primals, something that you can do is you can go for the moats, right? The moat, see if there's any gold in turning any of these into the full primal. And with a moat, it takes 10 of them to make one full thing. And a lot of the time, there's some really good options here. Another thing that you can do, you can start out small with, is you can go for shuffling materials, okay? So you can go for the pallet bones, the desolate leather, the lace-dried ore, and all you're going to be doing is you're going to be sitting here and you're going to be refreshing the auction house, and then you're going to look if anybody posts them really low so you can potentially refresh. But there's also a lot of people that actually bait in these markets, right? And what I mean by baiting is somebody would post it for like a golden 55, so it looks pretty much the same, but then people post, because a lot of people are posting in these markets when it's really active during the day, and then that is something that you can potentially make some gold on, right? So starting out in smaller markets, figuring out, okay, how much are people willing to pay, and also on top of that, how many can I sell during a day, right? And obviously going into something that has a little less volatility, which would be some of the old world materials, is definitely a good place to start. But again, picking materials or picking things that are used for crafted items or things in professions is always such a good idea, because it's basically like a failsafe. If your flip does not work out, you can use it for your profession crafting. And obviously you have to get into profession crafting for that as well, but I can tell you right now, if you don't want to do any profession crafting but you want to do flipping, it is also very hard to figure out how much are people willing to pay. So no matter what, you have to get into profession crafting. Maybe not crafting yourself, obviously, but being able to understand what these different materials are used for is super important when it comes to flipping. Because, you know, you could look at a primal might and be like, oh, I could just buy all of these and put them up to 2800 and people are going to buy them. Well, if the crafted items that use primal might are not worth it to craft if they cost 2800 each, and not only that, you can also think about it in this way. If a market has been very stabilized for a while, right, it's also very hard to increase the value on them. And that's why it's important to know how big are the stacks that people are buying, how many do they usually buy. And that's something that you can really only learn about with experience or knowing about how professions are put together. But that's basically what I would say when it comes to flipping. Starting out small and using professions to save out on potentially losing something, and then obviously only using the gold that you have available to add, that you're willing to lose, because it could go bad, right? You could lose some gold. But also with a lot of these old world materials is you very rarely are you going to lose all of your gold, right? If it doesn't go your way, you could potentially end up selling it for the same price that you bought it for, or maybe like 5, 10, 20% lower. You don't lose all of your gold, but you gain some experience in learning about the market, and that's really important. But that's basically what I have to say. If you guys have any questions about this particular subject, drop it down in the comments below. I'd love to talk about it. It's very hard to make a video that just is like, this is how you do flipping, because there's a lot of different ways to go about it. Obviously, it also depends on how much time you have to sit every day and how willing you are to use professions to your advantage as well. And also how many different servers do you potentially want to play on, and all of that. There's a lot of different ways of looking at it. But these are basically just my updated 2 cents, because I want, basically I just wanted to give people some longer form answers that they can go back in and use as a reference. But also, if you guys are interested, I just started up here last week. I just started up my series of basically every week I'm gonna go through my weekly sales, what's been working out for me, what I've been making profit on. And if you guys want to know certain things that have been working out really well for me, obviously you can watch those videos, right? And then you can look at those markets yourself and start researching and seeing what prices are good, what are they used for, why would people buy them, and all of the above. And you know, if you ever want to ask me any live questions, make sure you hop over on the live stream at twitch.tv/Sanseful. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it made sense. I hope it was useful. But that's going to be it. Until the next one. See you guys.